The RØDECaster video is here, and Rode is boasting that this is video production evolved. So today I'm throwing it into a mock production here with a lot of different cameras, obviously a microphone, and we're just gonna figure out, first of all, what the heck does it do? Because we got a lot of stuff going on back here. And second of all, who is it for? Is it actually good? And should you consider it for your work? So let's just start with the physical device itself, because there's also software we have to talk about. Over here on my laptop, you can see that it's compatible with Rode Central, and there's a lot going on over here. I don't want to get you guys overwhelmed yet, so let's just stick to the device first, talk about what's going on, and then also we'll get to like the back and all the inputs. So let's unbox it first. And I'm going to be honest, I've been wanting something like this for a long time, so I got a little bit hyped. Today we're unboxing something that could be really cool, could be a flop. I have no idea, but I'm excited. Rode has sent over a little package, but they are not sponsoring my video. They are not paying me. They are not seeing this video. And they get absolutely no input on what I say about this product, which is why I love Rode. They're cool. This is the brand new RØDECaster video. So it's pretty cool. Here's their statement. This is video production evolved. Here's the device. I just ripped this a little bit. First impressions. Gosh, it just feels quality, dude. It feels good. Holy crap. I'm gonna try my best not to glaze in this video. I'm just gonna try to be objective. But I am just really excited because I've wanted something like this for so long. The knobs feel incredible. The buttons and pads feel very good. And then you have all these ports. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh, sweet Lord. Thank you, Jesus. I mean, this just makes every tech person extremely happy. This is Rode saying, hey, go be creative, do whatever the heck you want. Look at all these ports we gave you. You even get mounting points on the back. So you could run this thing on any sort of creative rigging that you want. You do have rubber pads here, here, here. But I've spent more time with the device, so I feel confident to tell you guys what's going on with this thing. All right, so let's start on the back. We have 4 HDMI inputs, which is amazing. And I'm using 3 of them right now. As you can see, we have one camera here, Nikon Z6 III. We have the super old AG AF100 camera. Then we have the C70 behind me. And then number 5 is actually a USB-C device. It's my Sony FX30, which is mounted above me right here, which is really cool. This is compatible with USB-C devices. We'll get into that in a second, but let's get to the back of this thing again. So you have those 4 HDMI inputs that you can throw any HDMI signal into. It only does HD up to 60 frames per second. This device does not do 4K of any kind. It does HD from 23.98 all the way up to 60 frames per second. But for live production stuff and recording video podcasts, more than enough. Also on the back, you have 2 HDMI outputs, which is really convenient because I have an Atem Ninja 5 connected right now, so I could record an external, completely separate safety file of this whole production if I want to as a backup, or I can just use it to monitor, which is really cool. So if I go to settings, I can click video. I'm using HDMI B, so I can set this to program or multi-view. So if I switch this to multi-view, check the box, then if I go back to this wide angle, you can see that this is now capturing like all of what I'm seeing on Rode Central, essentially. So you can have it set up to be monitoring everything you're doing for your live productions, or you can just set it up as a clean feed if you want to just see what the live audience is seeing or record a separate backup. So you got options there. Shout out to all the production managers out there. I don't think I could do this job. You also have 2 headphone outputs, which is really cool. They're 1/4 inch, so I have an 1/8 inch adapter on right now going into my in-ear monitors, but I could have a completely separate set of headphones going out, which is cool. And then you also have speaker outputs, which is convenient if you want to use this thing as an audio interface, or you want to run this to any sort of like external speaker devices. And then the creme de la creme right here is the 2 combo jacks. So a combo jack can just take XLR or instrument cable, which is amazing. And the best part about these 2 combo jacks is they come equipped with Rode's incredible Aphex audio processing. So basically what that means is this has the same technology as their really high-end podcasting mixers. So you can plug in a microphone like this,
or even the Shure SM7B or the Rode Procaster, which are really low impedance mics. These preamps inside the RØDECaster Video are so powerful and clean, like their mixers, that you do not need a cloud lifter for virtually any microphone. They're that powerful. And they come equipped with all of the post-processing stuff, so you don't have to do a lot of EQing and stuff in post. You can do it all on this device, similar to their mixers as well, which is really cool. So to customize the audio settings, you just click on this device button right here, and then you can swap between the combo jacks. You can see it says combo 1, combo 2. Then you have video clips, which is stuff you can pull in through a micro SD card slot on the back. There's a micro SD card slot right there, which is kind of cool. So if you want to pull in any sort of like external graphics, video intros, overlays, music, sound effects, anything for your production, you can pull it all in from a micro SD card slot. But to customize the audio, like I was saying, is you go to your combo jack here, you can click on this, and then I have custom processing set up, which is happening through Rode Central on this Mac over here. But if you don't have the custom stuff on Rode Central, you get a bunch of options on the device itself, which is like the EQing and compression and the sparkle, glimmer, all their like custom effects. If you want to make your voice sound really good, you can do that all on the mixer itself, which is nice. And you can see that I have 50 decibels of gain being pushed into this microphone right now, and it's absolutely like super clean, no issues at all. It doesn't sound hissy, even on a really quiet microphone like this. So it's pretty freaking amazing. Although I think you can hear my cat's feeder making noise.
Can you get that microphone out of my face? I'm trying to pay some bills and tell these people why Artlist is worth their money. Literally every single YouTube video I make, I use Artlist for something. First of all, their music is super high quality, tons of different genres. I used it all the time when I was editing for Matt Diavella, and I use it on every single video I make for myself now. Secondly, their stock footage actually has really quality options on it that doesn't look super cheesy like most sites out there. Just in my last video where I dummified my iPhone, I used some stock footage from Artlist and it looked really nice. Even their like graphic templates look awesome and can elevate your project if you're not good at animation or graphics. So they have that covered too. It's not just music. Also, their big new feature is AI voiceovers, and they do hire real voiceover artists, which is awesome, and you can make it say whatever you need for your project, and it sounds really nice. So if you think it'll help your workflow, check the top link in the description. At least click it and browse around a little bit because it supports me and this channel so I can make more videos for you guys. So love you so much. Thanks for checking it out. Now back to the craziness of the RØDECaster video because it's pretty awesome.
So also on the back here, port 4 and 5 are USB-C ports that work with USB-C audio and video devices like this FX30 that's filming up here. This is not using HDMI at all. So basically, when I plug my FX30's USB-C cable into the mixer, it just recognizes that it's trying to use its webcam live streaming functionality. So on my Sony, it popped up, what do you want to do with your USB-C? I just click live streaming over USB. And then this device, just like a computer, recognizes that my Sony is now being seen as a webcam, which is freaking amazing. There's no workaround that you have to do. So this means that you could essentially have 6 video feeds going into this camera with 4 HDMIs and the 2 USB-Cs if you want. Or you can use these USB-Cs for USB-C microphones. Like I know Rode has a bunch of microphones that are USB-C compatible. There's a ton of them out there. So you have a lot of options, which is really exciting. And then you also have a couple of USB-C ports here to connect to computers. So you could do a dual PC setup if you want. I have this little pink cable going into my MacBook right now. So just one cable going into my Mac. I know it looks a little insane with all the cables in the back of the RØDECaster Video, the RCV, as I'm going to call it from now on. But you only need one cable going from this device to your computer. So it's super clean, which is freaking awesome. Something else you may have noticed on the back of the device are these antenna here, which are used to connect the device to Wi-Fi, and you can actually log into Wi-Fi directly on the device itself. I did that originally when I was setting it up, and it was actually really easy. You can see I'm connected to Wi-Fi right now, and it's working perfectly. It didn't fail at all upon login, and basically you just like select the letters for your password using this little scroll wheel and click in to select it. It's actually pretty easy. And then there's one more USB-C port on the back right here. It's number 3, and this is to connect to an external hard drive over USB-C. So actually, let me see if I can show you mine. I have this little hard drive right here. It's in an Atem case, but this is a terabyte SSD. So all of my recordings are going straight to that. You can see this is lit up red over here. and that just means it's recording. It's not live streaming. There's a separate light here if you have your stream key set up for Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, whatever you use. But we're just recording, and it's going straight out of this port back here into that SSD, and it's just all being captured from this into the SSD, which is really nice. And then I have a backup going into the Ninja because I'm insane. You don't have to do that if you don't want. But what actually makes this device special? Well, it's the fact that you can switch between cameras either with hard cuts or custom transitions built into this device so that you can put on a really high-end looking production, whether it's like a video podcast, a small concert, like literally anything you can think of that requires multiple cameras and audio sources, this thing should be able to pull off. So for instance, right now you can see that I am switching between cameras by hitting these pads. It lights up which pad is active, and it just has this nice smooth transition between each camera angle, a slight fade. So I already set all of that up inside this device. So if you go over here, I wonder if this Apple Pencil works on here. Oh, it doesn't. Frick. Right here, you can see this button. When I click it, it gives me different types of transitions. So this is fade, dip, and then wipe. So let's do wipe because they're usually hilarious. Is there like a funny, what the heck is this one going to be? Let's click on that, go home, and then you can set the duration right here. I have it set to ½ a second. So let's just see what this looks like. Some of them are super funny, but they work really well, you know? I'll just show you what the dip looks like though. Let's do a full second dip. So once I click on the time duration, this lights up green so I can use it to set it. Let's do a full 3 seconds just for pain. That's a 3-second dip, baby. And I'm not talking skinny. And then also on here, I have it set to auto, which is letting me use this with the transitions. If I set it to cut, it will just hard cut between these. It's a little more abrupt, but some people like that style. So you can do that. And then also there's this button here, which is your fade to black button. Let me click it. And actually, when I talked after clicking that button, it didn't pick up any of the audio signal because it basically ends your production. So you could fade to black and then stop streaming or recording. Now let's see how this thing works in conjunction with Rode Central, because I feel like most people will definitely use it with that because it's just a little more easy to navigate things and customize things. So let's move over to Central. So now we're in Rode Central. This is beta firmware, just so you know. So like this will be subject to change and update over time. And you see these 5 categories here. Let's start with Scene Builder. So I have a blue screen behind me, obviously, and I want you to see how good the keying is. I've noticed it seems better with blue. Now what's crazy is you can change the background from the key to be one of your camera angles, which is kind of insane and fun. And in advanced settings, you can turn, like, you can mess with the different keying settings. So like you can see the HDMI cable coming out of the C70 is blue. So I can try to like dial it in to be a little bit more clean. It actually looks pretty good. Like that looks really good actually. It's kind of insane. Like the edges around my head and everything are pretty freaking solid. Dude, this is actually insane. I'm gonna turn it off, flip this around because it's blue on the other side. This thing is so old and dirty and gross. See if it keys blue out. Whoa, that one looks even better than green. I seriously have like one crappy light up here right now, and it's doing a great job, like keying right around my hand and everything. But more than just goofy green screen stuff, you can build scenes and templates that have multiple camera sources in one shot. So let me switch to A over here, and you can see that I have 2 camera angles in one if I want to do like a multi-explainer shot or something. So you can do a template. And they have all these different templates here. Oh my gosh, this is insane. But you get the idea. Like you can set this up to be as wacky and crazy as you want. And once you build a template, you can apply borders. You can change the color of the borders. Let's go white. It's going to look nice and clean. Then you can adjust the size of these borders, make it tiny or thick, whatever you desire in life. So you can build these different templates, which is super fun. So I built this one out, which I feel like would be a cool tutorial shot. You can see me talking and explaining. You can see the back of the device. You can also see the top of the device. And then I also built this one, which we saw earlier, but I just feel like this one looks really nice. It's kind of cool. And it's funny, like this still has the green screen keying going on behind me. So this is basically just limited by your imagination and what you need for your production, which is super fun. Also in Rode Central, you have your audio mixer here. If you click on the device logo right here, this is where I've done all of my custom settings. So if you go, you can turn this off and just hear it without any settings at all, but I have these on. And you can see you get high pass filter, de-esser, noise gate, compressor, EQ, exciter, panner.
I hardly know her.
Which is just insane. And then you can dial in the gain over here, select what type of microphone you're using or line in or instrument, which is really cool. And they even have presets built in, which is insane. So if you use the SM7B, which is really popular, or the Procaster, which is what I use and I love, then this just has built-in settings for you that will make it sound amazing. And then you can navigate the different channels in here to set things up. Like you can dial in gain just for your video clips if they're too loud or too quiet. Same with your sounds. Bluetooth devices, which is crazy. Speaking of Bluetooth, you can set up wireless microphones from Rode to directly connect to this. So you just need the transmitter and you can connect this to the device, and then you could have a lav mic on stage and use that as your main device, which is freaking crazy. And then you also have USB channels in here, which you can set up to be from external programs like Discord. So if you're doing like gaming live streaming, you want the audio of your friends to be louder or quieter, that's where you can dial this in, add effects to it as well if you want. And then also in Rode Central, this is where you can dial in your various mixes. So for your live mix, this is what's going out to the device itself. You can see it has the same icon on here. Like the live mix is what this is going to be hearing, but then you can also change what you hear in your headphones to sound different. So if I don't want to hear myself as much, I can turn myself down. I cannot hear myself in my headphones right now, but I'm still getting the exact same amount of signal going to the device itself. So you can set up the mix to be whatever your heart desires, which is cool. And when you turn this down, you can see that your other mix is set up there for reference. So yeah, you can have it set differently for each headphone output, which is actually really cool. The monitoring output, recording, Bluetooth, all the USB. If you're sending stuff to your Discord chat through USB, you can set up what they hear. I do that all the time with my Rode Streamer X, which is my main USB audio interface. And when me and my friends are playing Warzone, I play music on Spotify and I can send it to the USB chat so everybody in Discord can hear it in perfect quality. So you can just get freaking limitless with the creative ideas with their mixes. It looks a little confusing at first, like this is a lot to take in, but basically all you need to know is these are all individual mixes that don't affect what the audience is hearing unless you change the live mix. That's what the audience hears. Everything else is just custom for whoever's going to be on that channel. You don't have to go this hard with a device like this, but the fact that you can is amazing. A couple notable things I want to mention. You can plug in your stream keys here for Twitch, YouTube, whatever you're using. Device configuration has a couple settings as well that are really cool. So this is where you change your HDMI outputs to be either program or multi-view, like I showed you earlier on the Ninja. You can set your project frame rate here anywhere from 24 to 60. And then this is a huge setting. This is ISO. So it says isolated recording will record individual video and audio sources used in your live production separately as isolated tracks. So this is actually really huge because this means that this device can directly compete with all of the Blackmagic live production devices like the Atem Minis and the Atem Mini Pro and Extreme. They have a bunch of devices, and the ISO versions of their devices do this exact thing. They record audio and video signals as one production signal, but they also give you an individual signal from each camera and microphone, which is amazing if you need to go back and fix things in post. And this leads me into talking about this device, the RCV, versus something like the Blackmagics. Basically, I do think this device can compete with the Blackmagics and do more because you have all the HDMI inputs, the USB-C inputs for audio or video signals, and you have the two combo jacks that have pristine audio quality like the Streamer X and like their big podcasting mixers. This takes the fact that you usually have to have two devices and smashes it into one. It's exactly the concept they did with their Streamer X, but on a lot larger scale. If you go look on YouTube, there's a lot of people that have had to figure out how to use like a Rode mixer in tandem with a Blackmagic Atem Mini so they can do their live video switching, but still get the audio quality of the Rode mixers. Now with this device, you get both in one. Obviously, this is my first video with the device, and I have lots more to learn. It's so in-depth, like I'm sure I'm gonna learn more and more and more over years probably, but rest assured this can pull off some pretty insane productions. There are a couple of concerns and wishes I'd like to throw towards you right now. The first concern is that HDMI has limitations in terms of distance with cables. So if you're going to be doing like a concert or something, you can't just run like infinitely long HDMI cables to this device because HDMI has speed limitations. So at some point it won't work. That's where SDI comes in, and Blackmagic does have versions of their devices with SDI inputs and outputs, which is really good for like professional productions where you need solid reliability and speed. So there's one workaround that you could do where basically you could have wireless HDMI transmitters from your cameras and have the receivers plugged in to these HDMI ports, but that does introduce an element of risk with HDMI over wireless signal. It's possible, and you can probably test it and get it to work, but it does have a little bit of risk to it. So it just depends on what you're doing. So what I'd love to see, I know like we just got this device and it's like, yay, I should be thankful. This is really exciting. I am thankful. It's really cool. But what I'd like to see is for people who are doing even bigger productions, I would love to see like a super deluxe version of this, like the RØDECaster Video Pro. I could definitely see them making that in the future. If they did make another version of this that was larger, imagine having like 4 to 8 XLR inputs for really big productions and like 8 to 10 HDMIs or more USB-Cs that can work with webcams or audio devices. Basically just maxing the amount of inputs and outputs this thing can use and having SDI as a version. I think a lot of people that are doing really large productions would love to see Rhodes make something like that. So I guess that would be on the wish list for sure, even though I probably wouldn't use it. I know a lot of people out there probably would. And mostly because it simplifies everything from audio and video into one device. And then you just record an output file or your ISO files or you live stream it. Like there's just so many options. And the fact that it's coming out of one small device like this is freaking incredible. Rode, you crushed it. I think this is really cool. If you guys are interested in me testing more things about this device, please comment below. I am not like a master with devices like this. I don't do a lot of live productions, so my knowledge is limited on this stuff. But if there's something you'd like me to test since I have the device, let me know. And maybe I can make a follow-up longer term review or something like that based on your feedback. So I hope this video was helpful. Text me when you get home so I know you're safe. Watch out for deer. You guys are loved, okay? Go watch this video I made about the Streamer X because that's still my audio interface of choice. All right, see you later.